Hey Guru Nation, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, share. It really means a lot to me. Yet another old school question where people text me. Anybody can do that. 949-415-6256. No one else answers that number except me, but please text me. And I apologize if I'm late. Like this one, I'm like a week late, but I'll get back to you. I think Ashanti said, I'm not always there when you call, but I'm always on time. I'm a longtime fan, following you for 4 years. Thank you. I finally decided to reach out to express my gratitude and ask for advice. Thank you for the support, by the way. You bought the book. I really appreciate it. Right now, I find myself at a bit of a crossroads. I work for an academic institution, which I genuinely love, but I'm eager to broaden my horizons. To get ahead, I decided to pursue a master's degree in clinical research management part-time, with plans to graduate in January 27. I approve. I can dig it. Currently, I'm a senior CRA, but remember, at an academic medical center. We'll get back to this right now. Though my role has shifted away from traditional CRA workflows and more towards operations and budget management, while I've gained valuable experience, I want to return to my passion for hands-on clinical research. One challenge I've encountered is that while recruiters are impressed with my background, many CRO and pharma companies seem hesitant due to my limited experience in those settings. How can I better position myself to overcome this barrier and improve my outcomes? The main issue, and it's actually quite political now too, with Department of Government Efficiency and budget cuts with the Trump administration, but it's NIH funding. It's just completely gone. Like, government spending has been determined to be reckless by the new administration, and whether you agree with it or not, I'm going to refrain from giving my opinion on this. It doesn't actually matter what any of us think. It matters what's happening, and what's happening are budget cuts. And if you work in an academic medical center, it is not stable. It's the least stable it's ever been. And you should look, the CROs and pharma are not going to tell you this, but yes, you are lacking some hands-on clinical research, like the actual clinical experience, since you're doing more of budgeting and other kind of things as a senior CRA, but you want to use your job title to your advantage. You got to tailor your resume. You got to contact Ashley Margot if you need help. I'll connect you. She does it for all of our CRA and CRC Academy students. You got to get out of there. And anyone in this situation, don't do it recklessly, but start looking for ways to get out. And you're not going to be able to make a lateral move necessarily, because that's the bottleneck that you've been finding is, and by the way, there's a lot of people trying to make this lateral move as well, going from senior CRA at a academic medical center where you're not really doing CRA work per se, as the private CROs and industry-sponsored CROs and biotechs would expect with that title. You still have that title. I think the best thing to do for your career, and this might be the right time to do it, if you can afford the pay cut, is to work at a small site near you. Find small to mid-sized site near you. In most major markets, there's dozens. And work there, even if it means coordinator, even if it means whatever they give you as the title, it doesn't matter. Because unlike where you're currently working at an academic medical center, small research sites are thriving. If anything, under this administration, and this is all speculation by me, as well as a few others in the industry, if anything, private industry is going to take off, because that's where the money's going to go. If R&D spend stays the same, which everyone seems to think it is, it's just not all getting funneled to the NIH anymore, or a lot of it's not getting funneled to the NIH anymore, so it's going to trickle down to private industry. I think if you take a step back, you'll take leaps forward 2 to 3 years from now, or by the time the next administration comes, or by the time the dust settles on this current administration, and you will be able to get your CRA roles at a CRO, maybe even a senior CRA role. Now, the question you're going to come across at the sites is, why do you want to go from senior CRA to working at a site? And you tell them the absolute truth. This is what I want to do. I miss the clinical stuff. Maybe one day I could be lead CRC here or work my way up. You may not want to mention you want to be a CRO at a CRO or a biotech, but you can be truthful if you're feeling that vibe. Not all site owners are as cool as me, I gotta admit. So you gotta be careful about what you think they want you to hear or what you think they want to hear. But saying things like, I'd love a position at some point as a lead CRC once I learn the clinical stuff and maybe even quality assurance at the site. And here's some of the transferable skills I've done. I'm sure you have tons of transferable skills that these sites would like. The main issue with you is going to be the pay cut and maybe even the medical benefits, which makes me want to say you should lean more towards a medium to larger size site. Unless you're not dependent on those medical benefits. Maybe you have a spouse that can cover that. I don't know what your situation, but typically coming from academic medical center, you have fairly good medical coverage and medical benefits. So not only would you take a pay cut, you may lose some benefits. So I understand it's a lot easier said than done, but you're asking me for my advice on what I would do. I would try to find a way to do that. The academic medical centers is not looking very stable right now. I don't think they're going to be stable going forward. These budget cuts are real. Like the faucet of funding is already turned off. It's not speculative anymore. It's turned off. Will it ever turn back on? I don't know. If anything, if it ever is turned back on, it's going to be scrutinized so much. Those academic medical centers are going to have to put in so much efficiency. They're going to have to operate similarly to smaller sized sites, which I've always said on these videos. I've monitored academic medical centers. They have like 4 people doing the job at an AMC of what one person would do at a small site, maybe 1.5. So it's definitely not as efficient as private industry, but I'm not saying we don't need academic medical centers. I think they have a huge value add, especially when it comes to drug discovery and intellectual property discovery and peer-reviewed journals and lab research and all that stuff. It's vital what they provide. But the late phase research stuff, which seems like where you're working at, I think you want to move private if you can afford it. Stay for 1 or 2 years, let the dust settle, and then apply again. I think you'll be surprised at the receptivity of the job market if you do that. Let me know if I can help. I think a lot of people are in this situation, so I thought it was a timely video. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Good luck out there. Don't make any rash decisions. Text me or ask somebody for advice. And at the end of the day, it's just our opinions. But this is truly what I would do if I were in your shoes. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Bye-bye.